As guests line up to enter the Magic Kingdom, thoughts of adventure, thrills, and magic fill their heads. Space Mountain, Pirates, and the Haunted Mansion are all beloved attractions waiting within the Magic Kingdom. But there is one attraction that stands out, one thing that everyone comes to see: Cinderella Castle. Cinderella Castle is the symbol of the Magic Kingdom. It's a visual magnet that not only draws crowds into the park, but also guides guests down Main Street and right through its archways into Fantasyland. But the castle is not visible from outside the park. The Main Street Railroad Station instead frames the entrance gates and obscures what lies inside. This is intentional, a way to build suspense as guests enjoy the welcome show at the beginning of each day. After passing through the gates into the Magic Kingdom, the castle is finally visible at a distance, framed perfectly by the shops that line Main Street, USA. Photographers await, ready to capture the guests' first smiles inside the most magical place on Earth. So what makes Cinderella Castle the icon that it is? Its unique architectural design brings the storybook castle to life. The castle itself is constructed of concrete with steel reinforcing. Although it appears to be made of stone, no masonry was utilized in any of the construction. The concrete base makes the castle extremely resilient, able to withstand the hurricane-force winds often found in central Florida. And no, the castle is not taken down or otherwise relocated during bad weather. The castle's 27 towers draw the eye upwards, creating its unmistakable triangular silhouette. A 3.37 million-gallon moat surrounds the castle, adding a touch of nature to the scene. The castle measures 189 feet from beneath the moat to the top of the tallest tower. Why 189 feet? Building codes at the time required any structure over 189 feet tall to have a blinking red light at the top, as a warning to aircrafts. Walt Disney would not allow a blinking light to distract from the fantasy of the castle, so 189 feet it is, making Cinderella Castle the tallest structure in the Magic Kingdom. Anyone who's seen the castle in person knows that it appears to reach even higher than that. This is because of a little bit of Disney magic called forced perspective. Forced perspective is a technique that uses optical illusion to make an object look farther away, closer, larger, or smaller than it actually is. Disney utilizes this technique to make the castle appear much taller than its 189 feet. As the castle gets taller, its proportions get smaller. While the castle wall and archway are normal size, the topmost windows and towers are much smaller, about half the size of what one would expect. The facade of the castle also adds to the forced perspective. On the bottom walls, there appear to be large stone blocks, but as the castle grows higher, the stones quickly grow smaller and smaller until they disappear completely. The top of the castle has a completely smooth facade, as a building would appear to from several hundred feet away. In addition to the castle using forced perspective, Main Street USA contains some optical illusions of its own. Main Street is the main pathway upon entering the park, and it connects directly the entrance gate to the castle. The Main Street shops use the same forced perspective techniques as Cinderella Castle. The first floor of each shop is normal size, but if you look closely, the upper two floors are much shorter. The altered proportions created buildings that appear both full-sized, yet somehow miniature, almost like walking onto a movie set. In order to elevate the castle, Main Street is subtly sloped upwards. This has the added benefit of slowing guests who tend to beeline towards the castle upon entry, and also making for an easier walk out of the park for guests who are tired at the end of the night. While the castle from a distance is striking, it's the small details that make it a Walt Disney masterpiece. Inside the tunnel that cuts through the middle of the castle, 5 mosaic murals can be found illustrating the story of Cinderella. The mosaics are 150 square feet each and contain over 300,000 pieces of glass. These are framed by a Gothic-style vaulted ceiling which maintains the lightness of the castle while adding dramatic height. At night, the arches are uplit dramatically to enhance the effects. After passing through the tunnel of the castle, a fanciful courtyard welcomes guests to Fantasyland. A statue of Cinderella and her animal friends is located straight ahead, perched upon a fountain. At the proper angle, a crown on the mural behind her will sit perfectly upon her head. These are just a few of the wonderful touches that enhance both the architecture and the experience of the castle. It's these special details that make guests want to keep coming back. At the close of every day at Walt Disney World, Cinderella Castle is a backdrop to the Main Street Electrical Parade and is host to 2 light and music shows. Around 9 p.m. every night, the Electrical Parade helps to round up guests for the closing festivities. After the parade comes Celebrate the Magic, a projection and light show set to a compilation of popular Disney music. The show features beloved characters including Cinderella, Tinkerbell, Wreck-It Ralph, and Jack Sparrow projected onto the castle to create a unique appearance of being painted directly on the castle's facade. The show also features a homage to Walt Disney, including one of his most famous quotes, "I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse." After Celebrate the Magic comes Wishes, a magical gathering of Disney dreams. The show celebrates the wishes of classic Disney characters in a display of music, fireworks, and color-changing lights. Wishes features narration from Jiminy Cricket as well as clips from Aladdin, Cinderella, Snow White, and Pinocchio. On clear nights, a real-life Tinkerbell takes flight on a zip line from the top of the castle, over the crowd, and into Tomorrowland, sprinkling her pixie dust along the way. The lights, the music, and the positivity create a unified crowd at the end of the night. Both shows make for a heartwarming ending to a long day at Walt Disney World, and the beloved castle frames the perfect last memory at the end of a Disney adventure. It's the subtle details combined with the sheer magnificence that truly make Cinderella Castle a work of art. Walt's vision of a magnificent castle came to life at the Magic Kingdom. Cinderella Castle is not only a work of architecture and a beloved icon, but one man's dream realized.